Hey everybody, welcome back to MotorFiles. It's episode 19. I'm excited for this episode because I'm going to introduce you to the next major restoration project on the channel. My first ever motorcycle, Heidi, a 1976 BMW R75/6. Before I talk about my history with this bike and my next plans with it and what we're going to do on the channel, I think it's important to talk about /6 Airheads as a whole because they're a sandwich series between the /5, which is kind of the more quintessential Airhead, and the later /7s. The /6 is only produced for 2 years, 1974 to 1976, and is a really significant bike in BMW's history. So let's dive into that, and then I'll tell you what's going on with this bike on the channel. In the mid-1970s, BMW was building motorcycles, at least for their street bikes, with three things in mind: reliability, comfort, and the ability to cross continents with ease. This 1976 BMW R75/6 is no exception and definitely checks all those boxes, especially in its current form. This R75/6 is finished in the coveted Havana Gold and is an iconic example of BMW's two-valve boxer twins that really set the stage for dependability and craftsmanship for the bikes of this era and the bikes to follow. At the heart of the R75/6 is BMW's legendary 745cc air-cooled boxer twin engine. Producing approximately 50 horsepower stock, this one isn't. The horizontally opposed cylinders create a unique riding experience unlike any other motorcycle design. The low center of gravity contributes to stable handling, while the exposed cylinder heads make maintenance surprisingly straightforward. Power is delivered through a smooth 5-speed transmission and BMW's signature shaft drive system. Unlike chain drive motorcycles, the shaft drive requires minimal maintenance and became one of BMW's defining features. This combination of simplicity and durability helped establish BMW's reputation for building motorcycles capable of covering extraordinary distances. Next, I'm going to go over what's been done to the bike, what the bike needs, and then what are we planning for its future and what are we going to cover on the channels. So first up at the front, we have the stock gauges. The bike has 26,796 miles and change. Everything works. I don't have the key with me right this second, but we'll talk about it in a minute. First up, the steering dampener here. I don't know if you've ever been familiar with classic bikes or classic Airheads, but you can actually, it's kind of a two-handed operation, but you can actually adjust the steering dampener level. So there's 0, 1, and 2. I always left it on 2 because when I was riding this bike more frequently, it was definitely a high-speed machine, so I wanted as much dampening as possible. Problem with this is this plastic gets brittle because it's from the 70s. It's 50 years old. That's just the way it is. So anyway, it snapped. I don't remember when, a long time ago. I've had this bike for about 12 years. But it snapped right here. I'm going to replace this. I'm going to look into other options, that's for sure. Here's a switch gear. I do have the factory mirrors for it. However, I have bar end mirrors that come out here. They're under the seat. They're just little CNC mirrors that you mount like this. I don't want to slide them in. There you go. So I just took those off so I could get it through the basement. I'm probably going to keep those. I may change them out for Moto Gadget or a different brand. I haven't decided yet. I have a more major project that's going to come first, which we'll talk about in a second. But anyway, so that's the control stack. All the switchgear works. It's all pretty much factory. I don't remember how it happened. It might have been when I got it, but the trim ring on the light, it's got a little bit of marks on it. So I'm going to get a new trim ring for that. Front suspension's all factory. I'm definitely going to go through it. go through, rebuild the suspension, change the fork oil, all the fluids in it. Gonna drain the brake fluid. I've been looking into possibly upgrading this rotor with like a Brembo system. I'm not sure the pad life, but I'll definitely rebuild the front brake. I want to upgrade this brake line into a black stainless line for better braking and then also just for safety. The horn's factory. Here's the bottom end of the steering dampener. You do have a steering lock, so it is, can live with it. At one point, the key actually broke into the steering lock, and I had to swap that out. Here's the engine. Here's the issue with the engine. About 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I was riding the bike on the freeway, and about 30 miles down the road, I lost power, and it made a big clunking noise. And so the engine has some dead rings, and it needs some new cylinders. So the first major project I want to do on this bike, and specifically on this channel as well, is go through and bring the engine back to life. Everything is relatively accessible as far as parts for this, and I'm going to be going with an upgraded power kit, which we're going to be announcing soon on the channel, and that's really going to give it a bit more power to keep up with the modern bikes on the road, and fresh cylinders, new top end, and all the other accessories to go along with that. It's just going to give this bike some better reliability, and it's going to pull a lot harder. Beyond that, I do have an airbox delete up here. So this is a piece of fiberglass that I painted. There's an airbox breather in there, factory starter, factory charging system. It has an electronic ignition. I think the ignition controller might be hard to see, but it's mounted up in there under the tank. Factory toolbox. I have the battery out of it right now just because it's in hibernation museum mode. This has Mikuni VM34s that are tuned for it with pod filters and single plug heads. I want to upgrade to dual plug heads and do a port and polish on them to get more power. And then with that, we'll upgrade to dual plug coils depending if I need it or not. It's got /5 side covers, /5 mufflers because I broke one, and then these crash bar protectors. I'm probably going to remove them. A, I'm going to have to when we do the cylinder head swap, and then B, I'm probably going to remove them just because I don't really need them. I've been riding for a lot longer since the last time this was on the road. And it's got a factory oil pan. I want to upgrade that to a deep sump. I think with the bigger cylinders that this is going to get, having an upgraded oil pan is going to be nice just to give it a bit more capacity, a bit more cooling. And then this also has an upgraded clutch in it, and I have a lightened flywheel I'm going to put on the motor when I pull the transmission out. That's going to be significantly better, reduce the rotating mass, and it's going to pull a lot better with it. And I'll show that in a future episode. I have the flywheel already. It does have exhaust wrap on the headers. Back in the day, that was like the cool thing to do when I first had this bike about 10 years ago. That's not in style anymore, and it really doesn't do anything except is annoying when you have to work on the bike. So the first thing that's coming off is the header wrap. It's going back to stock. Definitely going to upgrade the mufflers. It's got a custom Rich's seat for a tall guy on it. Just because I have the factory seat, the padding and the vinyl was dying, so I found this on Craigslist. I want to change this out to something sleeker, sexier. The pin is rusted out, so it doesn't lock down. It's kind of a safety thing anyway, but it was fine for touring, and I still may hang on to it for distance, but it just looks a little weird on the bike. It is a custom seat though, so I could always go have them redo it. Everything else is factory. This bike does have progressive suspension in the rear, and I believe it has progressive springs in the front, but I'm definitely going to go through the front end and then all the fluids and just really dial this bike back in. I have so many memories on this bike. I've done multi-week road trips, one of the best trips I've ever been on. I really learned how to ride and take corners fast and just so many memories. So this one's not leaving. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be a permanent fixture on the channel. It matches the El Camino, so it's perfect. And yeah, it's probably the perfect pair I'm never going to give up. But that being said, she's been neglected for a couple years. I've been busy moving, doing other things, getting into adventure riding. And so she got put on the back burner. But we're slowly going to get her back on the road because she's a great girl and she deserves it. I hope you found this mildly interesting. I just wanted to kind of announce this bike because it's been something I've been really considering, and I'm excited. I'm at a point now, I got rid of some other projects to where this is going to be my main focus on project-wise. You're going to really enjoy Airhead content if you haven't really considered them before. They're very unique machines of their era, and there's a lot you can do with them, and they're really easy to work on and fun. And I believe they're rewarding in the end, and they just have great lines and make for great machines. I could talk about Airheads forever, so we're going to kind of end it off there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want me to go over any Airhead maintenance items, or you're interested in learning more about Airhead stuff, drop me a comment, shoot me a DM. Always down to talk about that. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We've got a lot of projects with this. We've got a lot of projects with some of the other vehicles and all the dirt vlogs that I can get out to ride to. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves.